Hello, and welcome back to Password. We're hanging out. We still got this bear here. Yep, I caught sight of Roswell entering the room again, looking dejected. Even with the snacks under his arm, I tuned out what the others were talking about to watch Roswell wander up to where we were all stationed and threw a bag of marshmallows on the table.
Oh, hey! Thanks, little man.
Roswell gave him a brief scowl before sitting down in a chair himself, burying his face in his hands without touching the snacks he'd strewn about his part of the table. I found myself sitting down nearby, wondering why I felt so off. It was likely everything Dom had told us, the sense of entrapment that was lingering in the air. The worst of it was that Dom seemed completely fine with how rattled everyone still was.
Hey, Haas, you remember how the food was on set?
He said nothing and just watched as Dom reached out for the bag of marshmallows, tearing it open and shoveling a few into his mouth.
So you really work for Dad? Sure do. But why? Why not? Pays all right. Easy jobs every now and again.
But it's against the law.
And? What do you mean, and? Last I checked, you were part of this family too. Even if the boss doesn't like it. You're willing to admit that I exist at least.
But you working for Memphis just... Where do we go from here?
What do you mean?
If this deal doesn't go down well, then that could only mean one thing.
You mean me returning with my buddy Jack and shooting the place up?
I withdrew into myself as a little as Roswell, not Rob, but Orlando and Haas looked at one another, mortified, and no one said anything, and the silence went on long enough that Dom assumed he was correct.
If it comes to it, I have no problem putting a bullet through that pretty face of yours, Haas.
Yeah, you've proven that on several occasions.
That's just what's in the job description.
He shrugged lazily, standing up.
If I wanted to do it now, I could. I just don't want to. So what? So what happens now? We can't leave him. We can't let him leave after that, can we? And knowing he'll just be back and trying to shoot us. You think you can stop me leaving? We outnumber you. And what's gonna happen when I don't touch base with Boss?
Dom turned to me, his toothy smile not fading a bit.
I reckon a certain friend of mine might come looking for his friend.
I could feel my skin crawl under my fur, barely watching as Dom made his way from where he was sitting to stand beside me. Yes, behind me, his heavy hands dropping on my shoulders, and he leaned in, speaking quietly.
Jack's been waiting to see you again, too. Almost brought him along, but felt it'd be better to hold off, so we didn't have any accidents.
I was squawking? No, quaking. No, where'd the S go? Looking to Thanatos for an incident, as to what we should be doing. Instead, he seemed intent on just lounging back on one of the oversized marshmallows as if it were a beanbag. What? Yes.
So, we're just gonna let him walk. We don't have a choice, do we? Why so angry? I went out of my way to offer you guys an alternative. Yeah, some alternative.
Something felt very wrong about what was happening. Thanatos' smile seemed to hint at it, too. But did that mean I had to step in here, or just let things play out?
Anyway, no point in sticking around here. Probably with time I headed back.
He didn't bother waiting for us to say anything to him, instead just turning to leave.
Is it really okay? Do we have any other option? We have to run, don't we? Make our escape somehow. And how do you imagine we do that, genius?
Tyson was right. Even if we attempted to climb our way off the mountain, with what remained of the road, not all of us could make that. It wasn't an option if we all wanted to escape. I noticed Thanatos making a go for my arm, and stood as he climbed up my sleeve. He gestured with his head to the foyer, and I went to go have a look. I could see Dom still standing outside, seemingly taking the time to stretch just beyond the threshold of the back door. Wait. He turned to look at me, and I looked at Thanatos for guidance. Not that he seemed to be paying me any mind, looking instead right at the bear opposite us. You're leaving already?
No point sticking around here, is there?
You dropped a lot on us so suddenly. Why are you offering us a deal, really? Why do any of this?
Thought I was pretty clear with that. It was just an easier job.
And going through the effort of making a deal with us, rather than just showing up with guns, is easier?
Are you expecting me to come out and say I don't want to kill anyone? That I'm in some unfortunate position, and I'm taking pity on you for being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He cocked a smile, and I took a step back.
I like my job. It gets messy sometimes, and if I don't have to get messy, but still get paid, all the better. Not that I mind messy, mind you.
You must be crazy. I don't understand.
Trust me. I know crazy, and Jack has me beat.
It's true.
It's true. Jack is a lot more unpredictable than you are. The rat talks.
He's special.
You're going to go back to Memphis now, right? The rat is absolutely talking. How is the rat talking?
He's special. I don't know how else to explain it.
I want to know what you're planning on telling him about your visit. Gonna tell him exactly what happened. I offered a deal. You need to think about it. Not good enough.
Why is that not good enough?
Memphis isn't going to take that. He'll get bored and show up tomorrow anyway. Probably. Which is why we're not thinking about it.
Benson.
We're going to take your deal, but we need some days to be ready for what will happen. How many? 2.
Oh, 2.
Stay out of this.
Why 2 days?
Trust me, we need 2. So in 2 days, I'll be coming to grab the 2 pigs. It would appear so, though I have no idea why the rat presumes he can speak for us. But you need to make one thing clear to your boss. That the extra time given to us isn't going to change anything. Make us sound pathetic.
Dom doesn't trust him, based on how his eyes narrow.
That's all. Strange rat.
Yeah. I could see Benson wondering if he should speak. Him meeting my eyes briefly, but missing his opportunity.
All right, 2 days.
Then he just left, turning around and wandering away into the trees and out of sight. For a few moments, I just stood there, staring at the spot he disappeared before finding myself lightheaded, and I fell to my knees. Oi, watch it. Did that really just happen?
We have 2 days. Only 2. All things considered, that could have gone worse.
How much worse?
A few casualties. I wasn't kidding when I said he was variable. I've had this exact conversation a few times, and sometimes he killed a couple of you to make a point.
What happens now?
You have 2 days to figure that out.
I could hear the sigh Benson made and knew exactly who he was directing it to. Do you know what we should do, Thanatos?
No, legitimately. Things are still up in the air. I will need to consider my next move carefully. Otherwise, this will go around is a waste.
2 days.
Indeed. Oswin will want to know that we've been allowed some extra time.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Benson.
What?
Did you know I have your key?
Benson's eyes went wide briefly, and a hand went to his pocket, but his eyes narrowed once more, relaxing.
You lied.
You caught me.
Oh well. But good to know you have it on you.
Benson took a step back, eyeing Thanatos and then me carefully. I don't want it. I'd ask if I wanted it.
It's not you I'm worried about.
Oh. I don't need it right now anyway. If I really wanted it, I'll just come grab it later. Benson took his leave, presumably to go report to Oswin, leaving me alone with the rat.
Well now, I'm sure you have questions.
Not really.
Not even a little.
Okay, so I do have a couple.
Fire away.
Why do you lie to Benson?
About the key? So I could find out where it was.
You didn't already know that?
I had a hunch, but again, it comes down to random variance. Me asking achieves something else.
And that something else is...
He knows what I'm capable of. Now he'll be on guard for the rest of this cycle.
Which is good.
Bad, actually.
The look I give him was a mixture of confusion and disgust, but he just laughed it off.
It's for me to work with. Don't worry.
I'm going to worry more if you tell me not to.
You have more important things to concern yourself over.
Right. 2 days until Oswin and Roswell get taken by Dom to who knows where.
Are you going to let that happen?
Should I?
That I shall leave up to you. You have 2 days to prepare for the worst.
Excuse me.
But now it's best you go check in with the others.
What did you do?
Nothing. Sal and Haas are just looking for you.
There you are. The moment the back door opened, Thanatos made a break for it and scurried inside. Were we meant to stop him? No, it's fine, I guess. What happened? Dom just left, but we have our deal set now.
We do? But that will mean Roswell and Roswin.
We're not going to just let them walk out of here, are we? I stood up and dusted myself off. Where are the others?
Still reeling, but inside. It's probably best if we touch base as a group and, well, see how everyone is.
We filed into the foyer where everyone was lingering around. Everyone was still dazed, it seemed like. Not that I could blame them.
I'm sorry, everyone. I never thought that.
You didn't send them, did you?
Of course not.
Then stop. This isn't your fault. Guys, Dom just left. Kind of.
Yeah, we watched him leave.
That's not all. Thanatos gave us a couple more days before he'll be back.
Until Dad arrives.
No, Dom will be back. After that, I don't know.
Then you say a couple of days. Do we really have 2?
Yeah, 2 days until whatever happens next.
Where's Benson now?
Gone to talk to Oswin about how the next couple of days are going to go, now that the deal has been made.
He had a couple of days before he and Roswell left.
Oh, we have a couple of days, yeah.
Or until the whole mob crew shows up. Please tell me we have some good news about weapon situation. The sword we couldn't get free without a wrench or something. I thought I made that clear. But we still have the option for guns. Not great for Haas, but all we need is Benson to tell us where they're kept and we're good. Have you even fired a gun before?
Plenty.
Have you?
Weapons are only one problem. Food is another.
How bad is the food situation anyway?
For the short term, we have enough. Not enough for 3 square meals given the amount of people we have, but we've hardly been doing that anyway.
I notice you said short term.
Sadly, yes. After we run the numbers, we can safely have food at a normal rate consumption for a week or so. Longer if we start rationing immediately. And after that? We have foraging as an option, assuming we're able. I don't think it'll come to that. Probably. Anyway, after all, 2 days until we might be escaping anyway.
That's assuming everything goes well.
And assuming we don't get duped. Dom isn't so bad, or wasn't all that bad, or, well, it's hard to say exactly how good he is, but compared to Jack, he's a saint. And then there's Memphis.
Without having met Jack, it's hard to know how he compares to Dad, but that's horrible. That I can agree with.
How bad are we talking? Considering Jack chased you through the forest and waited until you were almost back before making his move, we have a potential baseline. And here's thinking that he was originally going to be arriving tomorrow.
Speaking of, what's the plan? Are we staying or leaving?
What do you mean?
Well, they're the mob, right? If they show up tomorrow with guns, what are we doing?
We're assuming they won't keep their word. Or Thanatos is lying.
You'd rather take the chance. I sure as hell don't want to risk it.
Roswell? I feel like I know what you're going to ask. In 2 days, you and Oswin are... I mean... It's for this reason I made you all promise. I made you promise knowing that the worst could happen, and now it has. It is better that I be put in danger so that the rest of you have a better chance of living.
It's hardly the ideal situation, isn't it? A better question is, you're going to be able to go there, back to us. No, to let us know what the escape route is.
Assuming there is one. There was something unsettling about how he smiled when he said that, but I shook my head. There has to be. They got onto the mountain somehow, and there has to be a way for them to leave without the road getting fixed, right? Otherwise...
Well, shit.
Some vacation, huh? Roswell's comment hung heavy in the air. Even just scanning around the room, I could tell we were at a loss for what to do. With so much of the day left, how best could we use the time? I should go talk to Osmond about this, right? Silence. I started to wonder if I'd ever been heard.
Probably a good idea. If nothing else, it is worth seeing what he thinks of this.
I turned and headed to the basement, figuring figuring the best place to look wouldn't be in Oswin's lab. After all, that's where he was most of the time I wanted to see him. Okay. I'll end the part here. I'll see you around, everyone.